All right. All right, gonna go and get Warrior New Game 11 before switching on to somebody else. Well, some epic maps first, so let's go on and get to that. All right. Gonna go ahead and do some quick shopping. Switch out the wood for money and the money into weapon damage. Nice big old chunk. I do apologize if I sound under the weather. That's because I am. But I'll try to keep the interruptions to a minimum. Alright. Take a look at the accomplishments right here. Am I close to anything new? We're about to get the next level of critical hitters in not too long. Killers is looking good too. Maxed out heavy hitters. And damagers still has a big way to go though. So does blockers. Okay. Close on a few of the big ones. Oh, and let's look how we got up to 14% weapon damage. All right. More sword. All right. Always the trap ones. I like to get treasure and chart chasers. Not super necessary, but yeah. All right. Chart chasers are going to be good because I'm going to be switching characters, and I'd like to find some upgrades on, at the very least, gloves. But boots could be good too. They're currently decreased dashes, not decreased or increased movement speed. Alright. Imp, give me gear levels. No. Okay, wood. I'll accept it. I basically got to the point where we'll never find better. Sorry, we'll never find better experienced squirrels. Which is unfortunate, but still at this point it's not that big of a detriment. But it will eventually add up over time, so that's a little bit sad. Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to make this a free run. I could have got some stone, but being able to turn off my brain when I'm sick is just better. Melee experience or melee damage there. Despite hitting all the guys at range, because I am using a short sword, it is all melee damage. Alright, next floor. Man, I'm just terrible at picking up these squirrels. I just walk right past them. Let's see. Okay, physical totem second. That's not bad. That'll be the worst one. Drums of battle. Nice DPS boost. Yeah, this build doesn't double dip into attack speed like a lot of the two-handed builds do because there's no cooldown for its attack. But attack speed is still very good. Oh, 100% experience. That's going to be big. I want to take Battle of the Brute, but more experience. Why not? I'm already invincible. I don't need the 20% more health. Invincible because I got a Phoenix Feather if you're just joining in. Yeah, not making any of those trades. Book of Alignment. Alright, experience maxed. because I got the chance on hit on bosses, I don't need the shouting to give me stacks of killing spree. So I'll probably be avoiding that the rest of the game. Because there's literally no good choice. Alright, that's everything? Yep. And a big old 180,000 from picking up that scroll there. Oh, more dexterity. That's good. Don't know why I pressed the potion. I have Phoenix Feather. I am invincible. Though I do need to get health back in order to actually launch these things at range. Alright, got the Bell of the Brute again. I'm going to full on Shadow Curse because I have Phoenix Feather. I don't care about the damage. I'm still going to get rid of it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to do so. Sure, I'll make my axes sometimes insta-kill, why not? Get those big numbers up. Oh, come on, get the last scroll, get the last scroll. Yes! Oh, I think I got it right before it went. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Alright, level cap. Let's just grab what I need and go. Let's see, did I get both of the secrets? I know I got one. Yeah, I did, okay. Yeah, I'll reroll. There we go. Missed the experience. Or the elixir. There we go. Well, I didn't even burn an elixir or a potion. Okay. Good. Oops. Yeah. I don't have disarming on my helm, so the one guy that can disarm will. Alright, the secret's not there. Oh, fine, I'll pick that up. Just get out of the pool. Meh. They need me to go back. Oh well. That'll be good for snakes. Alright, I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty quick run. I had to make sure I picked that up and did not go through the door first. These are the levels that I want while I'm about to switch. Well, we're going to get spawn fire. And I'll go back for the amp. Couldn't have spawned while I was a little closer. I see how it is. Alright, gold. Perfect. I'm almost wondering if I ended up with 5 adhesive soldiers and didn't even realize it. That'd be funny. Let me check. Nope, only 4. Okay. Offhand equipment. Woo! That could potentially be a shield if I decide to make paladin strength. Alright. How long was the run? Let's find out. 28 minutes? Not bad. Alright. Time to do all the town stuff. Or I start some epic maps. Alright, answer to question Discord. Alright, let's start at the top end. Chest equipment. I think I'm good on chests for this type of build. Okay. Hand. 69 looks like the best for hand. We'll try it. I need a leather critical. Otherwise, it's worthless. Alright, critical or bust. Bust it is. Both the orbs are down below. Alright, let me actually go get them. Looking for a shield of any sort here. I give myself a 50-50 of actually getting it. And it's for a paladin build, which I'm going to try to see if I can use strength and justice and see how that turns out for leveling here. Which means I can use a full leveled shield. All it gives me is a little bit more health to have a leveled shield and armor, but, you know, it keeps the survivability up. All the not great luck I've had on finding things, I probably don't actually need to be farming for ore. Probably have more than enough. It's iron that's probably going to be holding me back if I find something. But I'm still going to dutifully go through and try to pick up what I can. Alright. It's probably not worth it to try for a Zeal build on Paladin, actually. I really don't need to be doing this. The problem with the Zeal build is the proc rate, and I'm not, like, I'm hitting more guys, sure, but I'm not fixing the problem. Excuse me. No, I didn't even get it anyway. Alright. Let's see, what else? Helm and boots. Let me see, I don't think I got any that were decently leveled. Feet, 65. Yeah. Well, looks like I am not changing my gear. Alright, which character do I want to hit next? Okay, between Paladin, Rogue, and Warlock. Rogue is the most weapon forward of all those choices, so I will try you. Let's see. That crit damage is so little. I'll just go Blades and take the 25% increased... Or, sorry, Demolition and take the 25% increased damage and armor. I am going to be much more Vite heavy for this character because I don't have the same sort of healing abilities. So let me see the exact dexterity I need. Well, I passed it. It was 223? Okay, so I didn't pass by much. And then everything else is going into Vit. Need full slice and dice. Alright. Couple of swords. I need to switch out of spell power trinkets. Oh, chat rate 1. This is showing in my wrong window. I am sorry. I just realized somebody posted something. They added epic weapons, I think, at the beginning of the month, in the most recent patch. Let me move these docks around so I'm actually looking at a place where chat's coming up. Okay. Sorry about that. Not sure how long that was hanging out there. Book of Spells. Protective Charm. Ring of Speed. Crude Whetstone. Alacrity. Exceptional Whetstone. Belt of the Brute. Girdle of Might. Speed. Yeah, there's definitely a couple that are a bit above the others. Like the short sword and long sword are very good. And a lot of the already good weapons were made better. A lot of the weaker stuff didn't really get bumped up, and I think that was the intent. But yeah, not every patch is a winner. I just realized I need to go ahead and take first level of Fan of Knives, because I'll only be using it to proc drums. Yeah, I definitely recommend giving the patch a try. Alright, that's all of the stuff I want there. And I think I'm set up and ready to go try this as Rogue. Alright. Rogue, new game, 7. Don't need poison knives. There's actually very little I do need. Yeah, let's go with agile casting, since I'll be casting Fan of Knives anyway. I almost went with the spell drinks. I do not need those. Alright. Cat pause break. Not sure how much my mic picks up on the cat rubbing up against me and purring. I think it's a decent mic at cutting out backgrounds. Probably not too much. Probably can hear his tail flicking though and hitting the desk. Well, maybe not. All right, I'll do this last run. That'll be the last one for the night for me, kitty. Okay, and then we can go back to playing. All right, sound good? Sound good. Okay, I'm gonna drop you off on your chair. Whoop. There you go. Okay. I might have to call the run here. They are very persistent right now. Probably they know I'm sick, so they're trying to make me feel better. Come on. Come over here for now. The true content people came to the stream for. Half of a conversation with a cat. Oh, right. All right, come on. Get back down. Ugh. All right, for real this run. Okay. Those are the drinks I want. Yeah, very true. Kitty is not super vocal with meowing, but they do a lot of purring and a lot of headbutting when they want to tell you that they're being needy. So occasionally, if they do get ignored enough, they will let out a meow. I'll give them scritches in between packs. Excuse me. All right, I think they've been satisfied. Yeah, but Huskies are vocal on a completely different level. Never owned one myself. I don't have the capability of having a dog with that much energy, but I've had friends that have had them. And, yeah, they are ornery. There's so few upgrades I actually need as a rogue for a weapon build that I can pretty much just pick from whatever from the perks, or skip them entirely and be about as fine as I would be. Yeah, that is true. Pets are good at keeping you in line. Yeah, I couldn't do a hyper dog like a husky or a Jack Russell, or a long-lived animal like a parrot. I couldn't imagine owning, like, aside from, you know, having to basically prepare them in your will. There's just a lot of responsibility in owning a parrot that a lot of people don't realize. I have family that owns parrots that aren't the most responsible with it. And it's kind of a shame to see. But I feel cats are right about my energy level. Still a lot to do to take care of them, but the active engagement is not nearly as high as it is for a lot of others. I just got a cat wheel for my cat, and I've been training it to use it. It took its first walk on it last night, about 3 days after I got it. So I'm happy that I acclimated to that very quickly. Yeah, it would, in some ways, that would be nice, because it's always tough losing a pet. But it's at the same point, you don't have the same capacity for responsibility at all stages in your life. And I mean, it would just be shitty to have a stage in your life where you don't have the capacity for that, and it's like, well, what are you going to do with the animal? I mean, I'm sure there are people with great experiences with parrots and that, but it's just it's a lot of responsibility and it's a lot of time. Yeah, I think if I were a rich man, I think the pet that I would really like to have would actually be ravens. Like, I've had some interactions with some ravens as pets, and they're amazing animals. They're so smart. Like parrots, they are super ornery. But that's where I'm hoping being a rich man would kind of solve that part, where it's like I have the time to be patient without quite the 80-plus year commitment that parrots give. one of the few animals on the planet that was like confirmed to be able to use tools. Remember faces and then teach their offspring things. So like you mess up with a band of ravens, you got a vendetta for several generations. And then people accidentally training ravens to be thieves by like rewarding them when they give them trinkets. That's funny. I don't need anything. I don't need anything from items. Why am I picking up items? Yeah. I mean, this is as overgeared as I'm going to be because this gear's 75 and the rogue's only 50, but I'm still tearing through stuff just about as quick as the warrior was when he was this level. The slice and dice 60% attack speed, just starting off with it, is a huge boon. And I really don't need to even care about the perks. I'm definitely getting the feeling that you're going to be able to switch to all weapon builds a lot sooner than it was when I first was playing the game before all the epics. We'll see when I get around to raising a sorcerer from 75 to 100 using a short sword. How true the story is. Because sorcerer has no offensive, no. Short answer, they have not. Spell crit is still the way to go for spell power, so strength on the spell-based builds doesn't really matter. Or on that being paladin and warrior, if you're doing it int-based. Or int-based. Let me talk. If you're doing a spell-based build, their strength matters very little. And there's still nothing that bumps up spell to scale like weapons do. In addition to that, with the epic equipment, both the epic weapons and epic armors, the benefits that weapons builds get is a magnitude better than what spells get. So we basically pushed the barrier of entry of everything being weapons down. Yeah, at high levels, I've already shown that being a melee sorcerer is better than being a spell sorcerer. But that's like levels 3 through 400 and higher. But that was before they introduced epics. Now they've made weapons even better. So I have a feeling that, like, as low as, like, New Game 7, it might be worthwhile to just go full in on weapons, even if your class literally has 0 offensive support for it. Because of how much they've buffed the weapon economy. So that's what I'll be testing as I'm leveling up the second account. I'm literally just going to go through classes on easiest with weapons to hardest in weapons from here. Unfortunately, I had already done my wizard up to, or sorry, my wizard and sorcerer up to level New Game 11. That is. So the real test will be New Game 12 through 17. Yeah, the setup I'm using right now is basically just... I would rather this be disarming than hardy, But Vengeful, I'd rather this be hasty instead of recovering, but it's not that big a deal. But the big pieces are a critical gloves and critical on your vitality back. And then just use a crossbow as a stat stick with extra weapon power and armor penetration, and then crushing and crit chance, which sundering would probably also work very well on a short sword. All dex based, and if you even wanted to, you could probably do a shield instead of a weapon here, but it would be less damage, which is obviously where they're struggling at the low games, is the damage. But basically, because the short sword acts like a better version of the short bow, being able to also have a stat stick on it is huge. So I would definitely recommend, if you're going to try it, to do it with the hand crossbow and the offhand first. And then if you're finding yourself too squishy, that's when you put on a shield instead. Which obviously means investing some in strength. And let me take a quick break to clear my nose, because I don't think you want to hear me sniffling. All right, I'm back. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know a lot of people resort to save scumming, which might still be. I should have got speed there. Oh well. I don't feel like you really need to save scum for weapons, but it gets very discouraging with like finding the critical enchant, because there's so many bad enchants out there that just flood the pool. But finding the weapons should be easy, because there's a total of 5 offhands. Main hands are a little bit harder, but the dagger is also a little bit promising for a defensive build, because it also gives you 35% evasion. But it doesn't have the clearing speed, and that's really what's important. Yeah, I totally purposely got that Shadow Curse so I could hit that pyre, by the way. 100%. That wasn't just me being dumb. It was all planned. See, that's the things you got to look out for when you're running the map. Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah, just constantly shooting forward with minimal speed loss, like, you just clear through guys, like, it's stupid. It's literally just a better short bow. Which before this patch, the short bow was one of the best weapons, excuse me, in the game. Yeah, I said, I know I got up and sat back down. That doesn't mean I was done. Alright. Alright, yeah, like I said, Gizmo, this is gonna be the last run. And we can go back to playing Chase the Fisher. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Q2 is so far away. I'm hoping it is a well polished class. A lot of people are speculating Priest. I think it would be funny if it's not because of how people on the Discord, well, a particular person on the Discord is being very vocal about wanting Priest. I think there's room for the Priest in the game, though, but honestly, I'd like to see something new. Which the Priest could deliver on something new, too. It doesn't need to take all the mechanics that it had in Hammerwatch 1. You know, I'm more interested in expanding out the actual game path. Because right now there's not a, like, the maps are randomly generated, but there's not a whole lot of complicating factors. It becomes very samey, which, you know, I don't, like, the game doesn't need 10,000 different variations, but I think variations will help expand its appeal more than just, oh, here's another class you can play the same levels on. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Witch Hunter DLC was just the Witch Hunter, though, so it's not like every DLC added a whole new area. So I don't know. Yeah. Honestly, I like the pyramid area a lot better than the main area. Did not like the ice area. But, you know, to each their own. I think it's really because the ice area didn't offer anything new in terms of progression. And on top of that, they changed up the flow to be more like, you have to clear this room and then move on to the next room. Which, that's not really what Heroes was. It's like, it's like throwing in a chase scene, a car chase scene into a Black Ops game. It just wouldn't make sense. It's kind of how it felt to me. That's the best example I could think of on a groggy brain. I've literally never played Black Ops, so I can't tell you if that's accurate. Yeah, I was in the days when I played first-person shooters. I was firmly set in the Halo camp, and I actually was getting very annoyed that Halo kept on introducing more and more features of Black Ops and losing its, or not even Black Ops, just Call of Duty in general, and losing its own flavor. That along with EA just being a shit company, and Activision, I was just like, no, I will never. Let me get this before I head out. Oh, for some reason I thought I grabbed you. Oh man, a crystallizer there. I could have got that from the Shadow Rift. Darn. Could have got a different blue. I don't know. I think Halo 1 through 3 are probably the pinnacles of first-person shooters. But you always say that. People always say that about the games they grew up with. So I know I'm biased. I hate the newer games of Halo though. So. I think Halo's problems. Oh yeah, Half-Life is great too. I think Halo's problems just they ended up just going down a soulless route where they just, instead of trying to make any real identity for themselves, just started copying whatever was popular. And the sound design. When they got rid of Marty O'Donnell, it's like, yeah, no, everything sounds the same now. Your music is terrible too. Yeah. Half-Life and Gary's mods, great. My mind kind of incorporates the two together. The amount of odd and very unusual culture that the YouTube poop stuff that Gary's mods spat out. Outside of it just, Half-Life and Half-Life 2 being great games. It was really culturally defining for a bit, at least online. back before Mr. Beast was on the YouTubes. And you just had odd videos like Half-Life 2, Having a Life Again with Morgan Freeman. Not that Morgan Freeman. Gordon Freeman's brother. Half-brother. I don't even remember. It's been so long. That part just might just be me being old for a bit. There was a quote that I heard once, and I don't know where I heard it, but it rings true to me. Players are very, very good at telling you when there's a problem, but they are much less so equipped to tell you how to solve it. Yeah, I definitely think having a finger on the pulse of the player base is a good way to see if you're heading in the right direction. But don't take their advice. Yeah, I'm in the same boat, age-wise. I don't honestly in that case I don't think it was the same people complaining. Like when you have a diverse player base, if you appease one group of people, you're gonna make another angry. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like it seemed like there was a loud majority when it was probably just a fringe group that went in Pandaria and all that stuff. And I don't even think that pandas are bad. I think like people give Mist of Pandaria a lot of crap. Mist of Pandaria was coming back from Cataclysm, and I'm sorry, Cataclysm was one of the worst expansions in World of Warcraft. Not because of what it tried to do, but because of what it did. It segmented the community so much over 5 levels of content. It made intro content back to points that were harder than Classic. Because Classic was hard, not because the game was hard, but because people's computers sucked and people sucked at the game and add-ons weren't good. Cataclysm was hard because they overtuned everything. Like, I was raiding in Cataclysm still until Blackrock Depths, and literally it was a college guild, so like we had attendance issues and whatnot, and it's like if you can't get everybody to be consistent, you're just not clearing stuff. And I understand it is good to have content that caters to the elites, but that should not be the baseline content. And raids are the baseline content for WoW. But I think that people complain now. It's like, oh, they've made an easy button for the game, where you just press this button and you go through your combo at a slightly less, because they increased the GCD, so it goes slightly less. Good. You need to cater the game to the lowest common denominator, and then create special things for players at the higher tiers of content to show off. Like, I don't want to compare it directly because it is so much worse in the gacha community, but it's basically the principle of whales. Except in the case of WoW, it's time, not money. So if you build all the content for whales, then that means that the people that they get their fun from, the minnows out there, leave the game, so then the whales have nothing to do. Yeah, it's... Obviously, gachas are much more predatory in that manner than WoW is, but WoW is predatory in its own ways. Yeah, that's a whole separate problem that I'm not even going to touch with a 40-foot pole. Like, there's... Ooh. All the sort of crime that gets involved in black markets on games, it's crazy. On the surface level, I have nothing wrong with people buying money. It's just another avenue where crime just fucks things up. Like, people being held in facilities and bullshit like that. Like, it's a lot. It's not mostly like farmers, like Chinese farmers like that, but that's more into the scam callers and stuff. But it's the same thing. Yeah. But like in the world, just the way the world is set up, like you can't do anything without harming 20 people. It's the interconnectivity of it all. It's just it sucks sometimes that such terrible conditions exist in the world, and there doesn't seem to be like an answer to fix it for a lot of people. And, you know, getting on my socialist soapbox, you know, the concentration of wealth, even in prosperous countries, is only, like, growing more and more. But even, like, prosperous countries in themselves are like this hoarding of vast amounts of wealth, and it's, it's not good. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, am I around level cap? I'm past level cap. I don't need to be killing things. See, when I start talking, I stop actually paying attention to the game. That's on me. Alright, I'm gonna catch this up. My cat's looking at me angrily saying, it's like you said you were gonna get off. So I think I'm just gonna pop through courts. You know, I'd rather kill things that I don't have to than find out that, you know, I'm at the end of the run and don't have the experience. Yeah. Luckily, I have a short day. I haven't... I'm sick, but I didn't take off, because I work remote. Which is nice. And the fact that if I'm functional but sick, I don't have to take the day off. It's going to be a short day, so it shouldn't be too hard. I am such a liar. I said I'm going to run to the end. Immediately go south. Alright. Yeah. The office is close enough I can actually just pop in when I want to. I don't have a desk anymore, but if I want to see people or go to meetings, I can do that. Yeah, yeah, you too. You have a great day. I don't know if vulnerability is the answer. I'm not seeing vulnerable pop up on bosses enough for it to matter. I might switch it to armor pin. Oh, whoopsie doodle. Yeah, I need to invest more into decks. Alright. Not too bad of a run. Not super quick because I was talking a lot. But 38 minutes, not bad. Alright. Like I said, that was my last run for the night. I'm going to be heading out. Godspeed, peeps, and have a wonderful Merry Christmas. Or whatever you celebrate. Alright, peace.